What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JT, and we are back to the Crypto Den. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. We have another exciting topic, as always, here in the Crypto Den. We are going to be talking about what actually drives crypto prices. Like, what is it? And honestly, we all argue about it. Okay. Like, we being people at the table with real stakes. I got a hedge fund, Bleeding Edge Capital. I manage investor retirement dollars, my capital partners' money in this market, and I do it through a ground up research approach using my 10 years of software development experience, right? I take a very long term perspective. So I have to know what I'm buying and I have to have strong conviction that it's going to be here in 5 years or more. So you need to leverage a lot of in depth knowledge and experience to understand if systems are actually getting adopted and will the token actually go up as adoption goes up, right? We're looking for those kinds of correlations. And it's really also important to understand finance, generally speaking, because these are financial products at the end of the day. They're software, but they trade like financial products, even though they're built like software products. Super interesting. It's exactly fintech combined, right? And since I have a finance degree, I am quite well positioned to navigate these waters. And I make this channel to manage my fund transparently and to help individuals across the globe understand what this stuff is. Okay. Now, the first thing to understand about crypto, right, is that Bitcoin leads the market. Okay. So actually, I'm going to take you over here. That's a good. I want to show you some charts here. That's going to essentially demonstrate my point. So first, let's go to CoinMarketCap. Take a look at. Go to the home screen. Look at this. Bitcoin and ETH are basically three-fourths of the entire crypto market. Okay. Bitcoin is 63% of the market. So Bitcoin drives it drives our entire market. All right. And that's the first thing to know. The second thing is if Bitcoin drives the market, the rest of the market, meaning Ethereum on down, right? Below these two, boom, everything else, the 15.83 million cryptos and over 800 exchanges, that is just 25% of the market. You could think of it that way. And all of these cryptos are correlated. They've either went to zero and they don't move, or they're correlated to Bitcoin, meaning if Bitcoin goes up, generally they go up. So as a professional manager, someone that's investing in this space, it's really important to know that Bitcoin is the only chart you need to be terribly concerned with if you're long term, because this is the massive macro indicator. Okay, it's Bitcoin. Will Bitcoin be higher in 3 months or lower in 3 months, 6 months, a year, etc.? And that question, now you understand why Bitcoin is so important, I want to get into the dynamics of Bitcoin. This chart is probably the most interesting chart that exists for Bitcoin price performance. Okay. So global M2 versus Bitcoin. Well, what is M2? M2 is the money that governments print to continue to support their aging and growing or declining population. The older your population is, the more healthcare costs, right? If your population is growing, the more people, the more programs, right? Food stamps aren't hard if 10,000 people are on it, but when you have 30 million people on it, you need more money, and so on. So it's a natural progression of societies as they grow. And you need more and more money to support more and more people and more programs and all this stuff. And that's pretty much inevitable. Go look at M2 when COVID happened. I mean, 81 trillion to 98 trillion. So the world printed almost $20 trillion. And a lot of the, not a lot, but out of that 20 trillion in printing, Bitcoin went from 6,000 to 60 something thousand, right? So like a 10x, about a trillion of it, 1/20th of it went into Bitcoin. And you can see M2 just started ticking up, and it's lagging behind Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin's going down along with the M2. M2 picked up, now price is picking up. There's an 88 to 92% correlation to M2 money supply. I mean, these charts look almost identical, right? Even back here when M2 wasn't that extreme, it goes up, Bitcoin goes up. See that? So you have to ask, what drives Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin acts as a hedge against inflation. I'm sorry, I got one more for you. I wanted to show you this because hold on. This is important for you guys to understand. Take a look at this. I'm going to go to meaning America's actual Federal Reserve here. This is the median home price, okay? And then I'm going to go to median home price in Bitcoin. So I use these charts a lot. You can see I've been clicking them. But this what I'm about to show you is not a fugazi. This is real, and it's hard for me to explain it without just showing it. Okay, so what does this chart go back to? I think it's 2011. Yeah, okay, 2011. Let's go find what were the prices of homes in Q1 of 2011. $226,000. Okay, and it cost 339,146 Bitcoin in 2011 to buy a home. Think about that. Almost 400,000 Bitcoin to buy a home. Now, in the same period of time, we went from that to, we'll just call it 230, all the way up to 416. So you need almost twice as much dollars to buy the same house 2 times. How much Bitcoin do you need in the same time period? 339,000 down to 4.5 Bitcoin. That's how much they inflated the dollar. 99%. Legit. If you would have just parked your money in Bitcoin, you could have bought a house for literally nothing if you would have had 300 something thousand Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying? And that demonstrates what Bitcoin is and why it's correlated to M2 money supply. As governments flood the system with capital, Bitcoin becomes more valuable, which means you need less of it to buy more things. And what's really happening is the way we value Bitcoin in US dollars, the actual unit of account, the dollar, is just growing in volume, growing in size. So you just need more of it to come up with the same square footage. That's true of gold and a bunch of other commodities. Okay. So, like, in general, Bitcoin hedges inflation, and it does it better than gold because it's still new and it's still early. But that's Bitcoin's purpose. So what drives crypto? Bitcoin. What drives Bitcoin? M2. So whenever you see governments talking about printing money, doing programs, expanding their social program, whatever, if they're just talking about let's throw money at something, war, any of it, M2 goes up, Bitcoin goes up, crypto goes up. So if you think governments are going to continue to print money, it's a safe place to be. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. I get a little passionate about it. Take care of one another. Until next time, I'll see you. Peace and love.